Manchac. Say that word and most Louisianans think of Middendorf's restaurant by past Manchac. But if you said that word 300 years ago, most folks would have thought of this particular site. I'm on a short river meander just south of Baton Rouge, and this particular bayou, which flowed as a distributary out of the river and then wended all the way eastward past Port Vincent, past French settlement, where it conflued with what is now the Amite River, historically the Iberville River, discharged into Lake Maurepas, then past Manchac, where Middendorf's is, and into Lake Pontchartrain. The natives, namely the Mugalusha, described this as Imashaka, which meant rear access or rear entry. And here's the value of this site. Instead of fighting the currents of the lower Mississippi and dodging sandbars and shoals and erratic wind directions as you navigate up those meanders, you could come in a longboat, paddle across Lake Pontchartrain, through past Manchac, through Lake Maurepas, and then up the Amite River and up Bayou Manchac, and get to the Mississippi River about 180 river miles up from the mouth. And that was the value of this place to the natives and to French colonials. The French claim Louisiana in 1682. 17 years later, 1699, the Lemoyne brothers, Iberville and Bienville, start establishing French colonies here. And then in 1717, control of the colony shifts to a private company known as the Company of the West. They want to see action, and they charge Bienville with siting a headquarters here that would be named after Philippe II, the Duke of Orleans, and is to be called Nouvelle Orleans. And they give him very specific siting instructions that it ought to be on the river, accessible by the river, but also from Lake Pontchartrain. So even while Bienville selects the present-day French Quarter site and starts working on it in March and April of 1718, that doesn't stop the company officials from making their own decision, just overlooking some maps. There's a 3-month lag time between a decision made in Paris arriving in Louisiana. Company officials in Paris are perusing maps, and on those early maps, Bayou Manchac is displayed very dramatically because it is this convenient rear entrance. And they charge an engineer by the name of Perrier with a very strong suggestion that they relocate Nouvelle Orleans, name and all, to what they call the Manchac Brook. That is Bayou Manchac as it comes out of the Mississippi River. So Perrier departs France as the newly appointed engineer for Louisiana, and he has with him this instruction to relocate New Orleans, name and all, to the Manchac Brook. What happens? Perrier dies en route. So that message never makes it to Bienville in New Orleans. Instead, he's able to progress on his project at today's French Quarter site. His men first cleared vegetation roughly in the 400 to 600 block of Decatur Street off to my left here, and a few years later, by 1722, Adrien Despoget was able to lay out the street grid, giving rise to the urban neighborhood we have today.